Alright, what's going on YouTube? It's your brother back with a YouTube video and yeah, today we're doing all NBA coaches fired and hired over the 2020 off season, or you could say off season, whatever, over the course of about the NBA season. So yeah, currently I'm using the CBS NBA tracker, coaching tracker, I mean, latest moves, things. So ignore the analysis part of it. Um, it just didn't look right, just me cropping it out. So that's the reason why that's there. But other than that, yeah, let's just start with the first one. So yeah, we have the Houston Rockets as they actually hired Steven Silas and Mike D'Antoni actually left. He I assume didn't want to play with the Rockets anymore. He actually, I believe he's a head coach now. Yeah. Oh, I think he's assistant. Sorry. Yeah, I just want to make sure he wasn't a head coach again. Um, sorry that came out wrong, but I wanted to make sure he didn't get hired. Just to get, he was hired. He was hired as the assistant coach, I believe, on the 76ers. So hold on, let me just Google this real quick. But yeah, Mike D'Antoni. Yeah, Steven Silas. Yeah, his first head coaching. Uh, I do. I don't know too much about him. I just know he's a first year head coach. Obviously coaching a different team than Mike D'Antoni's team. Oh, sorry, he wasn't with the 76ers, my bad. He was actually sorry, he Mike D'Antoni actually went to be the assistant coach on the Brooklyn Nets, which is pretty interesting. We'll go over the outs, honestly, and what happened to them. But anyways, we got in Stan Van Gundy, and we got out, I believe, Elvin Gentry. So yeah, obviously Elvin Gentry was coaching the Pelicans. Um, to be honest with you, the Pelicans weren't. I kind of wanted them to be in the 8th seed. Wasn't able to do that. Elvin Gentry wasn't coaching too well. Stan Van Gundy. I was thinking of Van Gundy. I was about to say I'm pretty sure he was announced, but yeah, he was a coach. He actually led the Heat to the Eastern Conference Final in 2005. And yeah, he's a pretty established coach. He's not like bad or anything. He's obviously proven in the past that he can lead teams to the finals. Or I don't know if you would say lead, but he can coach teams to the finals. Um, yeah, like he did it with the Orlando Magic. And yeah, I think he'll be a good coach for like Zion and Brandon Ingram and the young talent they have on the Pelicans. All right. Next up we got replacement of the Nates. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we got in is Nate. I don't know how to pronounce that name at all. But Jorkin, I'm so sorry if I've mispronounced it. But yeah, he actually replaced Nate McMillan. Um, uh, the new coach. All right, so the new coach was actually the assistant from the Toronto Raptors, which is surprising. But yeah, he was previously the assistant coach on that team. Nate McMillan. Um, I personally believe he shouldn't have been fired, but maybe that was like a Dwayne Casey move because Nate McMillan is definitely a good coach. Um, they mostly fired him because the Pacers aren't. They're doing well, but they weren't championship level with all their talent and stuff, which I believe they could have been better. The Pacers definitely could have been better, but they were having frequent injuries with like Oladipo, Turner, all these people, and it was just really screwing with the Pacers there. So yeah, I'm not a huge believer, but maybe it's like a Nick Nurse situation. But yeah, next up we have the Clippers. Tyronn Lue was actually elevated to the head coaching position on the Clippers. So yeah, the Clippers got a new head coach. Doc Rivers is of course out. Um, Tyronn Lue is definitely a proven coach. Obviously he actually led the Clippers to a title. I mean the Cavaliers. Sorry, I don't know why I said Clippers there, but to a title in 2016. And he's definitely an established coach, but closer to the end of his time with the Cavaliers, he wasn't doing too well. He wasn't coaching properly, but then he unfortunately got fired. And yeah, about that. And then he went on to be the assistant with the Clippers. And the Clippers were actually pretty good back when he started with them. But yeah, he's familiar with obviously the Clippers being the head coach I mean the assistant coach last year under Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is obviously out. He's a longtime Clippers coach. He was also with the Celtics before, but yeah, he's been there with them since like 2010 or something. Sorry if I got that wrong, but anyways, he's out. Next up you have in Doc Rivers. And out is Brett Brown. Personally, I think this is going to be 100% great here with obviously Doc Rivers coming in. Doc Rivers is definitely an experienced coach. Obviously, what happened with the Clippers was unfortunate, but he's getting a kind of restart here with the 76ers, who could be a championship caliber team. Um, yeah, and then obviously out was Brett Brown. We'll talk about him after, but yeah, Doc Rivers coming obviously from the Clippers, and yeah. Next up we have Billy Donovan. He's replacing Jim Boylan. Sorry, but yeah, Billy Donovan, really good coach. Obviously, um, he turned around the Thunder, who people were thinking the Thunder would be just bad, but they actually went to being a very very good team. Obviously, I think they're in like fifth or fourth seed. But yeah, the Bulls are could definitely be better than they are right now with their 39-84 record over like a year plus or whatever. So yeah, they're not good. Like last season was terrible, and I definitely think that the Bulls should not be like that. So yeah, I'm like 100% on board with Billy Donovan being the coach of the Chicago Bulls. Next up we have Steve Nash, um, and he's replacing Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson was actually fired like so long ago. Uh, um, they do have it was like the guy named Jacques Vaughn. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, but yeah, he was the interim head coach there. Steve Nash actually has no coaching experience, but yeah, obviously he's gonna be playing with like guys like sorry, not playing, coaching guys like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and all those players there, young talent, all of that with the Nets. So I don't overall know what to say about this honestly, but obviously they're being joined. Being joined with the interim head coach from last season. He's being joined by also Mike D'Antoni, who's a fairly decent, was a good head coach in back in like the Suns days with a 7 seconds or less thing. And yeah, I think he'll be significant impact on the Nets. Next will be the Tim Tebow. This is he's coming in with Mike Miller leaving, who is probably like an interim head coach. And this is to do with the Knicks. Um, obviously the Knicks have been firing some coaches and stuff, but yeah, I think Tom Tebow is gonna definitely be a good head coach there. I hope he does well there. Obviously they have a bunch of young talent there. They have like guys like R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, whole bunch of different players there, young talent, and hopefully the Knicks can like really be just coached way better because they were not being coached properly under any of their head coaches. But next up we have JB Bickerstaff. As he's out is going to be Jeff Beeling. Um, yeah. Jeff Bickerstaff was apparently pretty sure he was the assistant coach, and he just got elevated. Honestly. So yeah, he was the assistant coach on the Cavs. So don't know too much what to say there, but yeah, John Bill's gone. So I don't know what to say about Bickerstaff. Didn't see too much of him because seeing as the whole pandemic and shutting down basketball, and him not really giving a chance. So I'll, I'll open my eyes to it. But yeah, next one is just gonna be the Thunder, who still don't have a head coach. They lost Billy Donovan. Um, all right, let's just talk about where these guys are now. Alvin Gentry is basically out of the league. Um, I kind of agree with the Pelicans on this decision here. Definitely Alvin Gentry wasn't doing too well with the coaching and stuff. He just couldn't coach them properly. But next up we have Nate McMillan. Truly, I believe Nate McMillan should have maybe stayed there one more season. They should have kept him at least for another season. See if the players are injury prone. If they aren't, maybe like watch how Nate McMillan can do it. I personally was a little bit stunned by this, but I was kind of not stunned, kind of stunned. But yeah, Nate McMillan, he's actually the assistant coach on the Atlanta Hawks now, so well done to him. Next up is the Clippers, Doc Rivers. Obviously, that choking stuff from last season was just terrible, and the Clippers weren't looking too good. Honestly, they lost the Nuggets, which I thought was terrible. Yeah, Doc Rivers just left. He didn't even. But at least he's a head coach now, obviously, with the 76ers. Next will be Brett Brown. I 100% agree with this. Um, Brett Brown was just coaching terribly. He wasn't doing it good at all. It wasn't looking good for the 76ers. He was kind of one of the main reasons why Sixers were like why this was happening. Also, you could partially blame it on injuries and Al Horford and his oversized contract, but I wouldn't blame it too much on him. I would probably say about injuries and stuff, but I kind of agree. I think Doc Rivers is going to be a better coach than him. All right, Billy Donovan and Jim Boylan. 100% agree with this Jim Boylan thing. 30, 39, and 84 over like a year, a little bit over a year. This is just terrible. Like he was doing this bad. Jim Boylan was not coaching well. The Bulls should at least have like at least 50 wins over the year plus. And they weren't even getting too good of picks and stuff. They obviously got the fourth pick last year, but like years they were getting like eighth and seventh picks. It wasn't looking good. But yeah, I 100% like this signing of Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan. Now the Brooklyn Nets. Um, I 100% I don't understand why they fired Kenny Atkinson. I think it was just a terrible move. By the Nets. Obviously they use their interim head coach and Steve Nash is there. I don't know how Steve Nash coaches, but yeah, Kenny Atkinson. I wish he could have stayed because the way what he did with the Nets with the season prior to that, with just not having any All Stars and just making the playoffs and kind of a downer team to making them a playoff team, which is really good. Um, I thought he was 100% a good coach in my opinion. Um, I really hope. I kind of hoped that he would probably go to the Bulls, but I like Billy Donovan as well. So yeah, hopefully Kenny Atkinson could be a coach again in the NBA, at least assistant. I don't exactly know what he's doing now. I'm just going to check real quick. But yeah, next up the Mike Miller. Not too sure who that is. All I know is the Knicks were terrible, and I don't know if it's to blame on him or what. Um, all right, Kenny Atkinson actually went to be assistant coach for the Clippers. So fairly interesting there. They have a coaching staff of about Tyronn Lue, obviously Kenny Atkinson. Um, JB Bickerstaff. John Glenn was just terrible. I don't know what to say. He was not doing good. 14 and 40 with the Cavaliers, and you had Andre Drummond in there. People could say what they want about, oh, he can't do nothing that um player could do in 2020 or whatever. But you have Colin Sexton, you have like Kevin Love, you have all these decent players that should not be going 14 and 40. I would hope to at least they were like one of the worst teams in the East. That was just terrible last season. Um, and yeah, so yeah, I don't really know. I think it's 100% honestly agree with that. The Thunder, Billy Donovan, obviously they agreed to part ways, whatever. Um, yeah, I don't really know what to say. Billy Donovan, obviously, I understand the reason why they had to let him go because he was definitely a good coach who wanted to win. I'm assuming he didn't want to rebuild really. So yeah, there's no point. He should have went to a championship caliber team, or a bad team that he could elevate. So yeah, the Thunder have yet to name a head coach. I'm assuming they have intern head coaches right now, but anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys next video. Peace.